G'day viewers. This podcast has taken 2 months to make. We took a 2-month break off, and if you're listening to this for the first time back, we feel good, and it's great to get back on the mic again. This time we took it all the way to Winders Park, Currumbin, and there are some weird sound hiccups in this, but bear with it, it only gets better. So thanks again for tuning in, and here it is.
It's a gold coast.
In the worlds before Monkey, primal chaos reigned.
G'day viewers, this podcast is brought to you by Koala Karma, the chill out drink. Sit back, relax, and come to Winders Park, Currumbin, October 13 and 14 for Buskers by the Creek. What is it? 5th year? Right into that mic, please, Cindy. 5th year. Thank you, Cindy Jensen, for coming along. You've been on this podcast show, I think, 16 times now in the last 3 years, so it's great to talk to you again. And we happen to have alcohol around too. What's new?
But the alcohol we have is stone and wood
Oh, yeah.
and Moet.
Well, let's,
Our
yeah.
major sponsors.
Yeah, so what is new this year? What is new for the event? You've got, this is, to me, you have Moet and Shandon. That is probably the greatest thing that's huge. Every time I've spoken to anyone about Buskers by the Creek, that you have these major sponsors, that's massive, because we all love a drink.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
No, this year's theme is Brazilian Carnival. We got lots of surprises in store.
Feathers,
Dancers,
acrobats and clowns.
speak into the microphone. But I must say, our naming rights partner, Coast Creek Country Realty, it would never have happened without their support this year. And we have Nils in the podcast studio today with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here, guys.
So, the 5th year. You know, last year it was like a sort of a pirate theme, a shipwreck sort of deal. And
it was every bit the shipwreck.
you know, we all learned a lot.
Totally washed out.
We all learned a lot
Washed
as a
out.
crew, I think, on that one. You know, how to deal with tough situations. How to drink all night and come on. Well, how did you get to the Brazilian idea? What was that all about?
It's all this year for Luana, our Brazilian beauty, my yaya, and Quinino here. Quinino is actually Luana's middle name, so yeah, I affectionately named her after her.
Brilliant. And there's so many Brazilians on the Gold Coast. So
16,000 to be exact.
unreal. I was at the Cooley Hotel last night, and tonight and tomorrow night the place is sold out upstairs because of some superstar Brazilian DJ that we know nothing about. But the place is sold out. You know, these little things that happen that we have no idea about.
So if you're single, get to the Cooley Hotel
Hell
tonight, and
yeah.
there's some brilliant Brazilian women down
Hell
there.
yeah.
I might just keep going.
Keep doing it. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to
Now-
pick her.
I should introduce behind you, Cindy, is Neal Webb, a guy we know so well. He's been on this podcast show 1 or 2 times, and he blows the city's mind every time with the greatest fire. What is it?
You can call it dancing, spinning, twirling. You can call it anything, really. A lot of friends call it fire twatting, but, you know, we can't say that on the radio, can we?
Yeah, but it's crazy. I've seen you everywhere. I've seen you on the islands. Where were you last night? You were over at Night Quarter, was it?
Yeah, well, all weekend we've been doing shows at Night Quarter, part of a spectacular we started. Yeah, and it's been awesome. Cindy was actually contacted me, and I was the first ever performer she
And we got
contacted
engaged.
for Buskers by the Creek. And from this first meeting, all these crazy ideas have been flowing out for the last 5 years. And she's amazing because every time I have an idea, she runs with it. She's really enthusiastic about new ideas and something that's never been done before on the coast. She's definitely bringing a lot of life and entertainment to Currumbin and the Go Coast. And Cindy, you're a legend. Thanks, mate.
She's a legend.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. She's one of those people that can just make things happen. You give her a dream or an idea and she turns it into a reality. And I think that's why the community and everyone supports the event so much, because she brings magic and life to this creek, and it's beautiful. And she's managed to arrange some of the best street performers from around the world to come to the event, and it's nice to have live shows and get the children involved and bring everyone down just to have a beautiful weekend. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Whoa, who are you?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? No, I know who you are. Of course, I'm only
He's our
taking it, but we haven't
surprise
introduced
act
you
for
yet.
2018, introducing Mathew Swan.
Yeah, I'm another one of the clowns. Woohoo! I'm a clown and an acrobat or acro clown, and I've been doing different street shows and performances and all different festivals around the world, and I was lucky enough to perform at SeaWorld for 4 years or something in a pirate show where we learned to do high diving. So now I've got different high dives set up around Australia and overseas, and we have a tank that we dive into. But this year I decided that Quinina, the mascot...
No.
What's her name?
No. Quinino.
Quinino looks exactly like me, so I've decided to get dressed up as Quinino, the beautiful pelican, and they've agreed to put a 20-metre crane out over the Currumbin Creek, which I'm going to try to fly out of. So we'll build a nest on the top of it, and Quinino is going to take flight. So that's
a
really
scoop.
Beautiful. Yeah.
That's a proper scoop, you know. As I was saying at the start of this, every single Buskers, Cindy's blown our minds with the main event. What happens at the end, and she doesn't even need to do that. That's what surprises me. Is like I thought we were just going to a busking festival, and there's flat out there's 140 acts on 16 stages.
300, thank you.
Yeah.
Are you insane, Cindy?
Can you please get your facts straight?
I say it every year. You'd understand this, Neal. You run your own, and you, Matt, and Nils, who we'll introduce shortly. When you run your own business, how difficult it is just taking calls and sorting out, make sure everyone gets answered correctly.
Yeah.
And could you imagine 300 hippies ringing you, wanting to know what stage they're on, and do I bring a microphone?
I forgot my guitar.
Yeah, which happens.
Oh,
It happened last year with, who was that? So
The classic one was, what do I wear?
What do I wear?
Unbelievable. So,
But then there is the professionals that do turn up and do a really good show. So, yeah, there is people that...
Which is our element show, Matt.
Yeah, which is us.
We put a new circus show together that we're doing on the main stage on Sunday the 14th.
Yep.
Lots of acrobatics, lots of circus, lots of fire, skipping ropes, there's big explosions.
We've spent the year putting a new company together, Elements, which is an acrobatical circus show, and normally it's under lights and with music, but we've stripped it back a little bit and we're turning it into a street show for this festival, so it should be amazing. And there's 6 of us, it's going to be amazing.
what a scoop.
So 6 professional performers. We've got 3 professional fire performers and 3 professional circus artists. We've collaborated and put it all together to create something absolutely epic for this Buskers by the Creek, because we've got to step up the notch every year, haven't we?
Yeah, make it good.
Yeah, we put a half pipe in the middle of the creek last time and set bikes on fire, so we've got to up the antes. You know?
Now, let me take this opportunity to introduce you to Nils Turner.
Correct.
From
Coast Creek Country
Coast Creek Country Real Estate. Get right in on there, Nils. And, mate, I was there as the MC last year, and I've known you from around Currumbin for a couple of years anyway, but I remember clearly you when you stood up in front of everyone at the opening, was it? The opening, and put down a very generous sponsorship offer from your company. And it's great to see you here today, mate. Please introduce yourself.
Yep. Hi, everybody. Nils from Coast Creek Country Realty. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so where were you last year, actually? Did you make it out in the rain?
Yeah, I did, and it's so sad to see, but I was so behind Cindy. Yeah. Did it really rain the whole time? It was torrential, on and off torrential, but much like it is now, actually.
Oh, Oh no, it was a hell of a lot worse than it is now. It was like bucketing down. I think it was 16 mil in a matter of seconds.
I actually I had my figures. I actually thought I'd offered that after the rain, but it was before. I found out. So the donations.
You know that rain. You know how you keep saying you felt sorry for us.
Yeah.
Well, because of that rain, we're now a finalist for the best event at the Australian Event Awards.
That is awesome.
Because what our team achieved in the rain was remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still more people here.
Especially that
person
asleep in the truck.
There were still more people here at your event on that day than the Olympic Games when it came past. So the Commonwealth Games, it was amazing.
Commonwealth Games. Well, if it rains this year, Quinina's still going to be trying to fly from a 20-metre crane, so...
It won't rain.
If it's raining, still make your way down. It's fun.
Can we
dance in the rain?
And what is... Okay, I want to know now, because that's a massive scoop. What time will that be? What do we need to know about that? Just what time is it generally, Cindy, in the afternoon on Sunday?
Sunday after lunch.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Hey, what about the can we reveal that yet? Where we'll be drinking this?
Oh, no, we cannot.
We can't. Okay, there's more surprises still to see. Nils?
Yep.
How's business?
Kicking along beautifully. Loving Currumbin. I'm pretty well locally based. Currumbin Waters, Palm Beach, Illinois. That's my service area. But I've been working out of my office there since 2006, and we actually just gave it a massive revamp only in the last 6 months. Rebranded our signage, changed the team around a little bit. So we're getting some great reviews from the locals. Loving it.
Brilliant. And to be not again. You know, to get involved, you know, it's not often that you actually, you know, people do get involved with their business and you know, really throw. You don't even need to do that, mate. You know, so it's a really generous thing, we all think, for you to help this festival out.
I think as a local and you're doing well, you've got a care of duty to give back to the environment that gives you so much. And I mean, Buskers is not the only thing that we do. I do the annual drive with the C3 Church here at Currumbin for food appeal. Last year we helped over 100 families with Christmas hampers. We get involved with the Currumbin Valley State School, their colouring in competition every year. We do a lot of stuff for the community. I've actually just yesterday signed off for 10 kids going to Fleas Wildlife at $60 each, special needs kids. So there's another $600 there. But, you know, it comes back to you tenfold.
Mate, do you want to talk about what's happened to you recently? Is it the time? Yeah? We, what about you, Neal? Are you hanging around for a little while? Because I really want to have a listen to Nils here. He's got something that geez, it would challenge every person, and I don't really know the full outcome, so if you could reveal it to us now, mate, it would be great.
Yeah, I'd love to. Okay, guys, I went for a PSA test, blood test in May this year, and over the last 3 years, and I'm really upset that my doctor never picked up on it. 2016, my PSA was 2.6. 2017, it was 5. Never said a word to me. And then in May this year, I chose to go and get a PSA test, blood test actually, because I wanted to see liver function. I've lost a lot of weight recently, and this is a byproduct. I finally get to the doctor and he goes, "Oh, your PSA is up to 5.87. I'll get you in for some tests." So they knocked me out, did the needle between the, you know. Anyway, tests come back. I've got prostate cancer, what they call a Gleason 7, which is a 3+4. Not good news, not totally bad news. The next 48 hours was probably the hardest, because when you got cancer in your prostate, it's not the be-all and end-all. It's if it's got out and got into your glands and all that sort of stuff. So they sent me for a CAT scan. CAT scan came back all clear, all gone. My beautiful wife is a naturopath, and with her help, and Carla, who is another top naturopath, they put me straight away onto some mushroom compound stuff from China, and Ribrax and RG3. Now, it sort of assists with the tumour to keep it under control. So I went to 3 different oncologists here in Australia, and they all said, rip your prostate out, rip your prostate out, rip your prostate out. Now, that comes with some serious issues, as many men know. You lose your prostate, you've got a high 80-90% chance of incontinence for the rest of your life. You'll never get an erection again, which is I'm only 50-odd years old, for Christ's sake, you know. So to me, that wasn't an option. So the next step was looking at alternative medicines, which I went online. I've studied so many different things, and I came up with proton beam therapy. And it's only a 2-minute YouTube video, guys. If there's any men out there that have got prostate or know someone that's got prostate, look it up. Proton beam therapy. It was sorry. Well, yeah. And it's anyway. So what happens there? And they're all through Europe. These proton beam centres. $200 million it costs to build a proton beam centre, and the success rate is 98-100% success. They've been using it for children for brain tumours and breast cancers for decades. But it's only about 15 years ago they brought it into for the prostate. So by the time, I'll keep going and finish the story, and then you can ask a question. By the time I went overseas, which is about 8 weeks later, to Prague, beautiful place, love it, where the treatment centre is, they redid all my tests, and my PSA had dropped from 5.97 down to 3.86, and the tumour shrunk in size. So, I was stoked. So instead of having 21, what they call fractions, which is 21 treatments, they reduced it down to 5. And that's all because of the assistance with natural therapies, which unfortunately a lot of it's been knocked out by the government next year in April on their bupa and all that sort of stuff, which is criminal, I say. So yeah.
So was there a time, you're a normal bloke, so was there a time when you were absolutely frightened, and, it's, put it this way, I just found out last week that I'm anemic. And I went, what the hell's that? And then they felt, well, you just got to do this and that. And I went, okay, great. As long as there's a result, you can cling on to those things. So when you had that plan to go to Prague and get that sorted out and you get that great news, by the way, did it upset your business? Like, did you go, hang on a minute, and sort things out?
Well, business, I'm really, really fortunate. I've got a fantastic team, and they held the fort. And because my treatment was shorter, I was going to be gone for 8 weeks. So I was only gone a little over 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks, and we came back. But yeah, the business side of things was great. You asked, did I get scared at any time? It's funny, in hindsight, it's almost surreal to me. It's like it happened so quickly. Before you know it, I'm overseas getting treated. On the lead up, I'm thriving business, and I just love working. And I didn't really give it that much consideration on a day-to-day basis. I was encouraged to join a group online called Brotherhood of the Balloon, which is for cancer, prostate cancer guys. And I went on it twice, and I actually decided not to go on it again because it was actually really disturbing. When you're trying to stay positive, there was some poor guy, and it's not an old person's cancer. This guy was 38 years old. He was maxed out, and he was air venting on the page. I'm 38 years old. I've got 3 kids and a wife, and I've got less than 6 months to live. It got through his body, and then he used a lot more colourful language than that. What the F and all that sort of stuff, which I'd do too. It was 6 months to live, and a family. Christ, horrible disease. Cancers are horrible.
Nils, you look amazing.
Thank you.
You've lost 35 kilos. You look
You
look
actually
healthy.
look amazing, Nils.
You legitimately do. So,
Thank you, guys.
what a gift you are for this festival for this year.
Thank you.
Could never have done it without you, especially all these. We've got the Flying Dutchman heading over from Europe. They're flying into the Gold Coast purely for Buskers by the Creek, and they're on their 30-year anniversary tour. So they've been circus performers for 30 years, and they're
amazing and beautiful and so funny.
You just keep pulling the tricks out of the basket, don't you, Cindy? I said to Cindy,
she's got some of the greatest acts from around the world, and that's the Flying Dutchman are awesome. And
I actually upset Cindy about 2 weeks ago, accidentally. I said, you sit on your bum most of the year, in the last 3 months you put this together. She goes, excuse me, I'm already working on next year's event.
Yeah. There is so much to organise.
I came out of it live just.
And talking about children and sicknesses and all that sort of stuff, they've always said that laughter is the best type of medicine, besides all the other types of medicine. And if you're happy, your body will naturally heal itself. And putting on festivals like Buskers by the Creek is all about putting smiles on people's faces, which is good for their health. It teaches the kids. And so it's just amazing, the gift of laughter and like the Flying Dutchman and the Space Cowboy and our Elements crew and some of the shows that we're doing is all just about happiness and laughter and and fun. And if everyone's having fun and enjoying themselves, it makes it heals people through laughter and all that sort of stuff. So it's a festival that is just right here, and it's a beautiful place to have it as well, because it's right in Currumbin, and there's aeroplanes flying past, and it's by the creek, and it's a perfect spot. So yeah, if you're
Currumbin
around
now before the prices get out of hand, that's all I can advise.
Yeah, it is such a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Aren't they already out of hand, Neil?
No, still undervalued.
Come
in
on, my
opinion.
next door neighbours are paying $620 a week rent for a 3-bedroom, one
no,
bathroom.
rents are wrong.
Rents
it can't be helped.
rents
Supply and
are
demand,
killing
unfortunately.
families here.
I know, but there's supply and demand. If you're a landlord, you'd think the other way, you know.
Yeah.
So, but guys, also just wanted to let you know, on Buskers weekend, if your phone is on half charge, quarter charge, starts running out, we've actually got a phone recharging station at the Coast Creek Country stand. We're actually, crazily enough, we're doing a virtual real estate office here. I'm bringing my office desk down, so a few information about homes we've got for sale. So come and have a chat with us and recharge your phone there. That'd be great to see you.
Perfect.
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 Yeah.
We've got a good crew. Really do.
Currumbin!
That's it.
Currumbin!
It's such a great place. I want to tell everyone, but I don't want to tell everyone at the same time. It's that kind of place. Like it's.
Shouldn't we be cracking open that Moe, Shandon?
Excuse me, it is Moet.
Moet.
Anyone who's listening, pronunciation is Moet.
Are you sure?
Do you want to have the argument with me? They're
No.
one of our major sponsors.
I've been saying Moet or Moe for all my life, and I've been drinking since
It's
I was
like
10.
Millet appliances, and they call it Millie. And
Can
it's
I-
actually Millet.
Can I just say, we had the initial meeting and then the follow-up meeting, and I kept pronouncing it Moe, and he looked at me and he said, Cindy, if we are going to form a partnership, you better bloody start pronouncing it correctly.
Moet, okay.
Moet.
I might go grab myself another stone and wood quickly.
Yeah, and
Anyone wants another one?
Stone and Wood is the new.
I think we
beer,
should
isn't
actually
it?
crack open the
Yeah, you do,
Moet.
Jonas.
Moet.
You do.
What did I just say? All right, okay, if we're French, who's French here? Anyone?
Yes.
We.
I want to be a friend.
Where are you from, Gab?
I've got a little bit of French.
Yeah?
Yeah,
If you were to
cracker.
be, if you were to say that, Neil, you're from basically France, England.
Are you an Aussie?
Yeah?
You and Aussie.
Oh, so you're from New Zealand, are you?
Oh, yeah. Same
same,
thing, right?
same.
Mania.
How would
Remember
you
the
say,
English and the French?
if you had the French accent, how would you say Moet?
I thought it was Moet.
Yeah? But if you were to, that's obviously it must be called Moet, but Moet. That's what I mean.
Moet.
Hey, maybe it was Captain Kim that led us astray on that one.
Do you remember, like, keeping up the appearances, Mrs. Bouquet? Yeah, but she was not called Mrs. Bucket, was she?
Well, let's speak amongst yourselves, please, Cindy. I'm going to bust this bottle open. We've got some new visitors here in the park. By the
yeah,
way, we
bust
are
it
in
open.
Winders Park right now.
Bust it open. Are we going to get this on film, please? Busting open the Moet. Shandon.
Please.
Keep chatting. Don't let me stop you.
Keep talking.
Keep talking. Right, so everyone's looking at me like I've got to say something. So I'm going to talk absolute nonsense to everyone. So, Cindy, can I ask a question? How many people turned up, not last year, the year before?
There were over 20,000.
20,000 people that walked through the Winders Park in Currumbin. And how much money got taken out of the ATMs?
Oh, we're not supposed to give that figure, but it was, let's say, 6 figures.
Well, there's a lot of money. So, as you can see, it's awesome for the community, and everybody should get like right behind the Buskers by the Creek. It's a beautiful festival that everybody shares. Come down, guys. It's October 13th and 14th. Come down and see some acts. Come and have some fun. Trust me, I've been a part of it now since the very first start of it, and I love it. It's so good. Like, I get to express myself in so many ways with lots of fire, and yeah, it's really cool. Thanks, Cindy.
I
Neil,
do have to say, the one point I like to continually express is, I guess, that it is a busking festival. So these artists are only paid by the generosity of the crowds. Please start saving the coins, your notes, and be generous. If you like what you see or hear, you know, these guys you work continuously, day after day, perfecting their crafts. And that's why I started the event, to provide another platform opportunity for artists to get out there and showcase their skills. So do keep that in mind. It is a free entry event for a reason, and that is so all the dollars from your pocket can go into the artists, the artist's pocket, and help them on their road to success.
So as a street performer, you've spent your whole life perfecting your art form, and festivals like this are great because they bring everyone together. But if you're constantly performing on the street and that is your living and you are a professional, you do ask the audience to give you some kind of donation for your show. Normally, if you went to a circus show, you're paying anywhere from $50 to $100 for a ticket, and then you get to come to these festivals for free and see some of the best artists from around the world. So, and all they're asking for is $5 or $10 or $20 in their hat, and so it's beautiful.
You ever known the thought that if you've got a function coming up, feel free to approach them and see if they can book them for your private function.
Yeah,
they'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
We actually did. Yeah, Neal. We got Neal for our. Was it my birthday?
It's your 40th.
Cass's 40th. Should remember that.
And did you enjoy the show, guys?
Absolutely. It was in our backyard. You had the two girls doing the
grass was burnt after.
Yeah, the grass was burnt.
Yeah, that happens.
Neal, you said something before that that really hit home to me only 2 weeks ago. There was something in the paper. I'm not going to say the festival. There's another festival in this city. It's a great festival, and they get really, really well supported by the council. Let's just say, look at us. We're gathered. We're magnets to Cindy. We want to help her. It's this funny sort of attraction she has, where we all sort of get in and make this festival great. But what I saw in this article was just how much much funding they get, and I thought, well, it's a great thing that happens. I know you want to know which one it is, and I can't tell you obviously, but I couldn't actually see, apart from me stopping at the shop where it is at and buying a can of like a drink, what it actually does for the locals. But here, like you're just saying, you're actually giving your $10, like you said just now, Matt, you're giving your $10 to a local kid from the Currumbin Valley State School. He's got his little band there, and he goes home with some money, right? Then you've got all the guys going to Ralph White's buying guitar strings. Guys and girls, Neal, you got to get all your stuff together, your costumes. Everything comes straight out of this city.
Your rehearsal time.
300 acts, all actually buying stuff for this thing. There's not a single show that doesn't happen at Buskers by the Creek. You're not buying something locally for that show,
And the council really should get behind this festival because, like you're saying, it puts so much back into the community. Like there's 300 performers, but that's 300 performances. So the actual performers are a lot bigger than that, isn't it? Like in the Element show is 6 of us, but it's still counted as one performance. So that's, you could be talking over 1,000 different people all buying things locally.
Like those leopard skin G strings that you wear.
Exactly, like...
they just don't buy themselves.
Red bikini over here for Quinino.
No, it's so serious, isn't it?
It is.
Imagine all those people having to buy. There's not hair products, everything.
And some of them have travelled from around Australia, or they're constantly on the road, and there's performers with families and like up to 20 children that they need to feed. No, lots of them do have.
How many kids have you got, Matt?
That's a good question.
He doesn't even know.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're gonna pop
Cindy?
open the Moet.
Watch out, because it's ready to pop.
Cindy's the one.
Maybe stand right in front of Quinino over
I
here.
can't stand. I've got a broken foot. Okay.
How did that happen?
Okay.
Isn't she
After
beautiful?
Yeah, not over this though.
Oh.
Yeah.
One,
Just don't shake it.
2,
Hey! Woo! Oh. Call a local ambulance, see? Everyone's getting employed. There it is, christened. So let's pour them all out. Cindy, is there any sponsors or any people you want to thank? Now's your time to do it. I reckon let's kick this off and let's start drinking. But let's get them out there now.
What?
Well, obviously we've got Nils from Coast Creek Country. He, what a champion, hey? A massive investment from him.
you.
Not only did it give me cash and shitloads of it that covered,
I had to pay it off.
Don't you like how I just
I paid it all off, that.
Don't you like how I just said shitloads of it? Because this year we're actually putting Nils's marketing material on the Portaloos. Have you got a shit agent? Call Nils, Coast Creek Country Realty. So yeah, that was a bit of pun intended there.
I should have thought about, does your agent annoy the crap out of you?
Yeah.
I forgot that one.
I'd also obviously like to thank, the City of Gold Coast, Councillor Gail O'Neill, Councillor Daphne McDonald. I'd like to thank Stickett Signs, the man himself.
Yay.
Go on,
Well
Drew.
done, mate.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, he's the one that makes us and Quinino look fabulous year on year. And partners in crime, Gold Coast graphic designer, our design team. Every single year, my only brief is let's put a pelican in the artwork. And this year, I said I want the pelican to be this dancing Brazilian beauty. And she came up with it, nailed it first attempt.
Yeah, but she's flying off the crane.
And now, yes, we have a real-life Quinino flying off the crane. Very exciting. We have our liquor partners this year to help keep Buskers by the Creek sustainable. We decided to take over the bar ourselves. So Moet Chandon launching their brand new Chandon S Sparkling at Buskers by the Creek, which is really exciting. And Stone and Wood, another amazing company that's thrown their support behind us. There are so many. We've got Morrow Equipment who provide the cranes. We've got Gold Coast Barges. We've got something very exciting coming to the water, which I can't disclose right at the moment.
Well, you
What is it? What is it? What is
Flicked
it?
something out, didn't you?
Oh,
What would you
What
need
is
a
it? What is
barge
it? Tell
for?
me. What is it? What is it?
I'm going to jump off walk a tightrope from one end to the other. Any ideas?
Swim 50 metres.
I think you've only told a handful of people, haven't you?
Oh,
Sworn to
yeah, only a
secrecy.
handful. And Drew.
I've heard there's sharks in the creek.
Oh, yeah. Someone told me there were sharks in the creek too. Yeah, 11 production services. Look, without him, this festival definitely would not happen. If you saw it last year, like we just talked about, it was torrential rain. We all saw Dan and you talk about that. He hates my bunting, by the way.
Dan, what can I say? Dan, the sound technician, organises 16 stages. He's constantly losing equipment. Last year, it was completely rained out, and he was running around frantically going, oh, this amp's blown up. The water's getting into this sound system. And he just held it. He held his own, and he held it together. And because, a strong reason why Buskers by the Creek has been nominated for Australian Event of the Award is a big reason because of Dan, because he held it together. He kept all the electrics going, he kept all the sound systems going, and for the people that stuck around at Buskers when it was raining, it was beautiful. It was intimate, it was nice. We were all in marquees, and the vibe of the festival was amazing. I just really hope that vibe can spread this year to outside and the whole park, because it was beautiful to get everybody together and just have a
And it
great
was really
time.
good to see the buskers hang around, because they had next to no chance of making $1 that day.
Yeah, and everybody was still performing.
Yeah.
Everybody was
Yeah.
I saw people completely drenched, from head to toe, with a guitar in their hand, acoustic, just going for it.
Pay back this year. They're going to do well.
Yeah, and every year really gets better. I say to myself, I say, how the hell are we going to top that? And every time Cindy tops it. She comes up with these ideas and like puts it into practice, and it's always better. It really is.
It's reinventing year after year and stepping up the next level. I mean, I know some functions around the coast that are just sort of every year the same stuff.
It just
happens, the same
stagnates.
stuff stagnates. And there's nothing new. So it's so good. And any insight for next year? What you got ideas of?
I do just have to also say we're back on sponsors here. Gold Coast Airports, this is the first year they've thrown their support behind Buskers by the Creek, which is amazing.
Beautiful.
And the week in lead up to Buskers by the Creek, the week before, we will have a couple of buskers performing live in Terminal. We've got Maddie Rogers and Mark Gray Band, who will be, playing a couple of sets in there as part of our partnership and promoting Buskers by the Creek, which is really exciting to all the people coming into the Gold Coast as visitors. So this is a first-year partnership, and we're looking forward to extending that year on year. So 2019.
I'll be there as a big sponsor, but I don't think I'll be able to match it with the big boys next year.
Next year naming rights is 100,000.
I know.
Let's put it out there.
That does me out of there, unless I pick up a heap of listings this weekend.
Cindy, going back, so this is the 5th one. You know, I actually did meet you just after the first one. Did you ever think?
Tell that story?
Did you ever think that it would last the 5 years?
Oh,
you know,
well,
and you have sponsors like Coastal Creek and the airport for crying out loud, and Moet. Did you ever think, no one would have...
No.
Big names.
She had it
crying
planned
out
all the
loud.
way.
Come on.
Seriously, Cindy had it planned. She knew what she wanted, and she knew it would grow.
Even the broken foot.
Like she
doesn't have to lift anything for the next couple of weeks.
In all honesty, she thought it was going to be a one festival. It was going to be one festival. She's going to put it out there, and that was going to be it. Is that true?
Yeah.
And after the first year, she realised how good this concept was, and how amazing, and how much it brought the community together. How many performers actually live on the coast. Yeah. And then from that, here we are, 5 years down the line.
You avoided the question.
No,
any teasers for next year?
he avoided telling the story about how he proposed to me at Elephant Rock Cafe when we first met. A bit like Drew's story about how we first met. All of these friendships and partnerships and what have you have all come about by this festival. I think you were the first performer to ever approach me, yeah?
Yeah, well, when you were working for some other company that I'm not going to say because they didn't answer my calls after that, I phoned this company and Cindy was working there, and I said, I've got this great idea about doing 5 performances for guests. And Cindy was like, that's such a good idea. I love it. I want to get you on board. And I was like, that's awesome. I can't wait to get involved with this woman. Who is this woman, Cindy Jensen? And then...
Forgot about that.
And then I phoned up a week later and she doesn't work there anymore. And they told me to go away and there's a stupid idea. And I was like, oh, no. I was buzzing off that. And then I got a phone call from Cindy saying, look, I've got this concept of Buskers by the Creek. Would you like to catch up so we can talk about it? We met up in Elephant Rock Cafe. I just got new owners, by the way. If you guys want to go down for an amazing feed, I'm not joking. Elephant Rock Cafe is probably the best place in Currumbin at the moment. It rocks. So anyway, I met up with Cindy and she told me this concept, and I said, well, we need to get on it. We need to get on social media. We need to start taking photos. And there was a table of people beside us, and I was like, let's do it now. And I give this old man the camera, and I said, can you take a photo of us? And he said, what's the occasion? I said, I've just proposed to her. We've just got engaged. And the whole restaurant's erupted, and we're having a great time, and people
I'm standing there going, what the hell just happened?
I literally met Cindy like the first 10 minutes, and this is what I said to her. So I'm in love with Gabs, so it's...
Yeah, congratulations on your 10-year anniversary. That's quite special.
It's not bad, is it? Good innings, that is. Good innings. No, but it's been amazing. It has been amazing. And like, since that first meeting, not only do I work with Cindy, but we hang out. Like, we're awesome friends, and I love you for what you do and your spirit just to live life. And this festival, like you said, and how you met Drew as well, you've created an awesome community, because I met Drew through you. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I met Nils and Cass through you as well. It's like, you know, we get all these international
getting
performers in. We get all these international performers in, but the local community is getting thicker and stronger. And, you know, why not? Bring it on. 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, Drew, I met Drew, similar to you. He applied as, you applied, yeah, as the Titanics. And
Japan too.
yeah, and next thing you know, I accepted his band as part of the lineup, and then not only did he become part of the festival for a couple of years, I ended up moving into his shed, renting you gave me space to have my office there, and, you know, forever looking at the time. When is it? No, just kidding. When is it time to... I don't know where I'm going
great.
with that story.
Amazing
You need
what
to
you've done.
delete that.
It really is, like, to have us all still here.
Private
But and you,
So-
Drew, you know, coming from the heart here, you've made this festival as well. Like, you've promoted it. You've put your
look at
love
him go
and
right
time.
now.
Yeah, well, you know, the podcast you
got
put
the-
on.
The podcast and the van and the
It's a mix.
microphones.
It's-
We're here doing this because he's putting this on. And
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
like, but that's what it takes to create a festival, is like all the people that love doing it and they put their time in and the energy, and it becomes a family of people that build these festivals, and year after year they keep coming back, and that's why the festival keeps getting better and keeps getting bigger, and you do top it every year because you spend the time building and creating the festival and talking about ideas, and then they go into the future festivals. So it's easily going to be 10 years.
Oh,
Will be, do you know what I
I'll
mean?
be dead by
It,
then.
no, it happens 10
That's just
years
great.
and then it'll keep going, and it just gets bigger, and with all the like t-shirts and the hats, and everyone knows Buskers by the Creek after 5 years now, so it brings more of the community together, so
Yeah.
it just gets bigger and better.
Well, through the whole, 5 years as well, like the Buskers brand, it's not just October 13th, 14th. Like, I've worked for Cindy and Buskers by the Creek on various projects all over Australia because the name is growing. She only works with quality performers that are honest and trustworthy. And, yeah, she's building a good team of performers that can deliver an amazing performance, whatever the festival, whatever the size, whatever the day. So, yeah, it's cool. It
Guys,
keeps
don't
going.
just go to the big acts. Some of these kids are amazing. You know, they're just school kids, and you go past and you go, my God, such talent. And, you know, they need to break out. And it's only when you go there and support them that happens.
Yeah.
And it's free. So when will they ever get the chance to see a great fire show
Yeah,
or a circus artist jumping? You know, only if their parents pay for that will they get that. But Cindy's giving, or Buskers by the Creek, giving these kids a chance to go, I want to be like that. I want to do that.
And where do those kids get an opportunity to make $400 in 20 minutes? That's how much a group made last year. And the parents were like constantly emailing me going, oh, they were buying ice creams and buying this and buying that. And we're like trying to explain to them, you should put some money in the bank. These kids like really rake it in over the weekend.
And they're also hanging out with professional artists as well. So
I've got
the kids that are coming into it.
Is our little friend coming along, the one the little rapper?
Yeah, he is. That's famous Mount Tambourine's famous Stanley has got a
Stanley,
yeah,
yes, he is. I
1
love
hour time
Stanley.
slot Saturday and 1 hour on Sunday, and he can't wait. He
Let's
can't
put a
wait.
call out to Channel 7 and Channel 9 to come and get Stanley.
He actually, when we sent the text messages out, just asking everyone to just check their junk mail if they haven't received an email from us, he was the first one to write back with a text and say, "Is Channel 7 coming for me this year?" So
Hey,
cute.
who's game enough to have a dance off with him though? That's a big question.
Neil.
Neil will.
Oh, yeah, just chuck me in the deep end.
Actually, Gabs, maybe.
Yeah, Gabs has actually got rhythm.
I do want to just say, Drew, they are so right. You and Kelly, Gold Coast graphic design and stick it signs.
No. I was just about to say something before. Okay, I could, you know, every one of us here who's ever put on a show or an event or a party, even a backyard party, you know, you go, oh, will anyone turn up? what, you know, I haven't been to a single event that Cindy's thrown, no matter what it is, where it isn't always full, and it happens. It always happens. You know, there's some sort of magnetism about the way you set it up, and you happen to be the drunkest one there too. You know, you enjoy it. That's what I mean. It's so true. And
she's even got a broken foot.
I mean it from the heart. Like, if it was me, Nils, I know about you, mate. Like, I get all tight ass about my own things. Like, oh, is everything all right? Sydney's like, woo! She enjoys it. And you go, well, she's enjoying it. We're all enjoying it, you know? Exactly. Only some people can run that sort of deal. So let's keep it going. Come on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as the laptop starts to lose its charge and the sun is up at Winders Park, and we're all, I'll tell you what, I only had a couple of sips of that Moet. I'm feeling loosey-goosey. I could jump off a crane. You know?
We always finish with a song, all of us.
Right.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So Cindy's actually written her own song. She used to be a movie star. I've had the privilege of finding the CD and playing it, but I don't reckon the rest of you know it, but you need to find the CD. So I reckon there's a treasure hunt going on at Buskers by the Creek. You need to find Cindy Lee's CD with her singing as a superstar. Can you just
I'm
give
going to
us
go
a
one better.
rendition of what's going on?
Neal, thank you, Neal Webb. At the end of this podcast, I'm going to put that song on. Oh, yeah.
Have you got it?
I've got it.
Have you got
Want
it?
to be a movie
How
star?
the hell do you have it?
I've got it burned. I've got copies.
How did you get it? Did Dan give it to you? No.
You gave it to me in the office
Did
back
I
then.
really? Have you
Yep.
got it?
I've still got it. Signed too.
Are you serious?
For reals.
Oh,
Yeah.
why have you never told me this? I never want to hear that.
For things like this.
Anyway. Are we out?
No, we need a song.
What's
We need
the
a song.
song?
What's
How do
the
we
song?
do it?
We need a song.
Okay.
Has anyone got a guitar?
Oh, yeah? What's
How's that going?
What's the first song then, Gabs? What's the first word then? Or of the chorus even? A champagne supernova. Did I say supernova? I mean it. No lunch in one sip.
Champagne supernova in the sky.
Someday you will find me caught beneath a landslide with a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday. All right, where's your bongo?
He's on it. He's on it. You and I will never die.
Wait till it doesn't matter. Here we go. Why?
And the party begins.
You might as well just stay here for the 2 weeks.
That's right. This podcast is brought to you by Koala Calm with Chill Out Drink. Sit back, relax, and go to Buskers by the Creek, October 13 and 14, 2018 at Winders Park, Currumbin. Yeah, come on.
I wanna be a movie star. Seek directors near and far. Seek directors near and far. Have my name up in the lights. Billboard showing me so bright. Billboard showing me so bright. Carpet nights in Hollywood. Win an Oscar like I should. Win an Oscar like we should. No more polish in my boots. And no more pushing gonna